Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. Today I'll be reviewing a pro game that was played on the Fox Go server. This game, I believe the time settings was fairly quick, as most casual pro games on there is. I think it was 1 minute main time with 3 15-second overtime, something like that. It was either that or 10 seconds actually, so pretty quick. The two professionals playing are Tao Xinran, who is one of the myriad of very strong professionals in China that have yet to win a world championship, but are at that level of potential, could win if the stars aligned. They have won national tournaments in China. And their opponent, who's white in this game, Lai Junfu, is the second strongest player in Taiwan, who also has not grasped a world title yet, but have won many domestic titles. So two very strong players. I believe according to Go ratings, they're both top 70. So very strong players. And so the reason why I'm reviewing this game is this game, a lot of these pro games that I see just casually watching, because they're not the tournament games that have lots of thinking time. A lot of these pro games online, while of course I can't understand every move still, I'm able to digest them a lot better because they have less time, so they have to use their instincts more, and therefore their moves are a little more digestible. They're a little more easier to understand it, and I actually find it quite fun to try to guess the next moves in these games. Yeah, but in this game specifically, the theme for this game was there was so many crazy decisions that it was a roller coaster ride. It is such a crazy game to watch and such a fun game to watch that I just had to share it with my audience. So yeah, buckle in. This is a crazy game. It starts out pretty calm, but the storm comes eventually. So yeah, let's get into it. Tao is black and Lai is white. And as I said, it starts out pretty standard. The pincer. Here, two moves. You can either push or just crawl, and black crawls. And then plays here. This move might look peculiar if you're just used to the one-space jump. The point of the one-space jump, or the trade-off, compared to the one-space jump, I should say, is you're getting more territory this way. But as we can see, there's more problems in your shape compared to here. You can see there's just one cut here that will probably never amount to anything. Whereas here, there's two cuts that oftentimes with this Joseki become a problem. And not that white would push and cut immediately, but that Aji exists. Now, and also pushing, white getting moves on top are a lot more forcing. Again, because of the cut I was just showing, the push here, the cuts I was showing, and also because we're taking away liberties. Now, obviously, if something like this were to happen, black's getting more territory this way, whereas when you slide here, you're getting less territory. You're on the second line. But as I was saying, white doesn't get as many forcing moves, and your shape has a lot less weaknesses. So that's the trade-off. So again, this early on, it really comes down to preference. Do you want more cash in exchange for more Aji your opponent could exploit and more forcing moves, or do you want to just kind of back off a little bit and kind of see how your opponent's going to play? So yeah, that's the idea with that move. And white just jumps out, and again, this move might look kind of strange. Like this might feel like the natural move, but actually almost directly there's some bad Aji with either the cut, whereas we can see after this pinwheel, black's group in the corner is for the most part secure, and white has two potential weak groups. So if you help one group, black could attack the other side, and if you help the other side, then there's problems with this group. And if black doesn't even want to do that fight, there's Aji of just clamping as well, where if you do this, black can even descend, something like this. So yeah, not saying you can't play here, but this is the idea with this move. is we're actually threatening to next play m3, and all those different problems go away. So black plays here and jumps. And this is one of those cases where it's probably okay to make that exchange. I am kind of curious specifically why black does make that exchange. Like, why not just jump? And if white fixes, you'll see in the game black ends up going here. So, yeah, I'm not sure. This feels more sente in this case, and then black could have sente. Compared to the game where, as we see, black goes here. And speaking of new moves, white goes here. I've never seen this move before. This is a very cool move. Black pokes. And then white got the clamp. And this is the whole idea with playing k3. And black pushes, and this is what I was referring to, is white actually ignored this. Whereas if you just jump, it feels like this is less... It's harder for white to ignore this. Although in that sequence, it is true that black did get a big move at r3 by playing at p6. So, yeah, hard to say. Obviously, it's probably all fine if they're playing it. So white ignores. So black captures it. So now black's created some aji here at n5. Created a kind of open skirt in white's area there. So black goes elsewhere. Pincer, yep. And this whole sequence here, pretty much joseki. And I don't want to get bogged down in the opening too much because, again, the main stuff comes later of this game. So for now, if you are curious about this joseki, I guess find your favorite joseki resource. Because this is pretty common, especially after the one space high pincer. Yeah, this is pretty much what you'll see. So, yeah. Just quickly go through. Black clamps. And the white even finishes here. I don't think all of this is joseki. I think this is. I don't know if white immediately does this, though. But white does. So now white's created some ko-aji there. But for now, black just jumps out. And I really like this move. Because it's a really good direction. Because if you can imagine, let's say white hadn't gone there. Or maybe even made that exchange and then played something out like this. Not only does this really reduce the right side, but really expands this lower left for white. So I really like this direction. So white takes the ko once, because there is a ko here. So white takes it once, but black says, okay, I will come in. And if you look just really quickly at this, it might look like, oh, aren't all of white's stones facing the lower left? Yes, but as I've reiterated in a lot of my videos, when you invade your opponent's area, you need to look for ways you can go, outs for your stones, places for your stones to run to or connect to. And if we look here, black can go into the corner, black can jump out, or black can even connect underneath. So this stone, while it is where white is really concentrated, this is still okay to play because of all those reasons I just mentioned. So even though white kicks, black still has two ways to go here. So white caps, black peeps, white takes once. This is, again, very good order of moves. If we can imagine white, let's say, goes here and then takes, this is what it would be like. Pincer, or when black plays here, how would you answer this as white? Would you answer it by going here? That seems like a really bad exchange, doesn't it? So white takes first to make sure black cares about this stone. Otherwise, white would just take, and now white hasn't wasted a move at k4. So this is a very good order of moves, and then connects, and then black attaches. Yeah, and in some cases, white can go really hardcore and to try to attack this, but again, because there's just a connection underneath, white just wants to get some profit, so white just hanes and captures. Ataris and plays here, yep. Because you have to be careful. If black gets this kind of move here, all of a sudden this white group here has no eyes and no eye shape. So that's why white has to play here. Feels a little bad, though, because this was kind of your thickness. And all of a sudden you have to play moves that are not worth that much. But black jumps. And then white pushes, and then plays there, yeah. So locally, the fight has died down a little bit. White adds another move because, again, they need to live. And then black takes back this ko. So remember this ko? Yeah, it's still on the board. And instead of fixing or playing something, and keep in mind there's also a potential ko here with this cut here. So yeah, white just comes in. Black pincers and white leans. The idea with this lean, by the way, if you just play a move like this, it's okay, but black's gonna be able to push you around a lot. So by playing here, the whole idea with this is you want your opponent to push and cut here. Again, if black tries to go all out, all of a sudden, black's shape collapses. So this is almost wanting your opponent to cut. It's good for you if they cut. So that's why, even though, again, if you look at this position, where similarly to the lower left, all of black stones are on the right side, it's like, oh, why is white being aggressive? White's actually looking for forcing moves. So black goes here. And so the whole idea with this move is, once again, white is not alive. So yeah, it's a nice move to get. Plus, this threatens to connect underneath, kind of mitigating the problem of this ko. So white peeps first. Black just connects and even double hanes. White fixes or makes second eye. Black fixes their shape. And then white hanes and goes elsewhere. Because white has basically made miai to live. If black Atari's here, white can just capture. And there's no way to get rid of these eyes here. Or if black saves, white can extend here. Or sorry, Atari first and then extend. So yeah. So yeah, white was able to live in Sente. It's pretty nice. So black takes the key spot there. Basically saying, even if you get these kind of hanes, I can connect either way still. And now I've even created a connection at S5. So my stones on the right here are very strong, actually. So normally you would have to play something like this. But the shape, while it is good, I don't know if white would make this exchange per se. But yeah, it's just, that's again the key spot of the shape there. So white jumps out. Then black takes it. And then white takes his ko back. So they're still fighting this ko, but with, instead of playing one ko threat, they're just playing kind of normal moves, if you will. So black just backs off, because now that there's a stone here at M13, if white was able to get some move like this, then all of a sudden the top side gets really big for white. So black just connects back, and then white covers. So again, white doesn't fill this in. White doesn't fill this in. So white pushes and jumps. So white's trying to connect back, but black says, well, you're still a little too far away. Yeah, remember black added L16 too, so now the avenues for this group are even less. So white diagonals, black pushes, and white connects. So white was able to connect, but black gets inside white's left side. Play there, yep. Push. And then we take the ko back again. So it's like, do they want to win the ko? It's kind of hard to tell. There's just other fish to fry at this stage, I guess. So white plays here. Yeah, now that white is connected, white is okay with giving up some aji in the corner. And this is a very nice move. This is a good move to know. Because if you play something like this, white then gets to hane, and this threatens to cut. So you have to fix. And then white's shape in the upper right is very good. So the whole idea is by going here, now this move is not a problem. Now, that does mean white has other moves, but you'll see this is a much more cramped shape than in the game. Black goes there, or in the variation. And then white goes here again. This is very good order of moves. Before I live in the corner, I'm going to make sure you care about N17. It's similar to before white answers this peep at J4, we take the ko first to make sure black cares about L3. So before we live in the corner, I'm going to make sure black cares about N18. See how black's going to play. Because if I'm already alive, black might give up N18. But while I'm not alive, black is probably going to save, which black does, and then white lives. Play there. And then now black makes it a real ko. White takes the ko, Black turns. Yep, remember this group needs to live. So white Ataris, though, and creates this ko, which all of a sudden this black group is now cut off. Black peeps, and white's. So black's trying to find a ko threat for this one, but white connects, and black all of a sudden just cuts off this right side, which is huge. White jumps. The whole idea with this is you can't necessarily push and cut because this becomes an Atari here. While you might think, okay, driving Tetsuji might be better here, like this, because then we get a connect. This stone now has lost value, so black could just play here, and now you kind of have to fix, and black can still seal you in. So, yeah, white just jumps, but black actually just pushes anyways, and, yeah, continues to cut off there. But then white fully cuts off the lower left. So, who do you like? Black took this right side, whereas white took this lower left. Who do you like here? It's tough to say, isn't it? It's tough to say. But the craziness has barely started yet because black can take this ko again. White pushes, and then black cuts off. So black says, okay, even if I take this ko, if you connect here, it's too much. So black makes the ko even bigger by cutting off the entire group. And white just says, okay, I'll take this because I can capture your corner. So black lives in the corner. And then white takes the ko again. Black extends, and this was black's whole plan, was even if you can capture this stone, that's not an eye. So white descends. The whole point of this is if you take now, there's not really much aji in this group here. Whereas if you can play here, there's a lot worse aji for black. So black just answers. Like if black had gone elsewhere, maybe connect back here, white would take. Again, black's trying to kill. Black needs to play here. Then white can push and cut. And you can just see black's shape here is very bad. Very, very bad. There's the move at b15, the belly of the two stones, which really hurts black. So black just answers. Then white takes. Black turns. White just cuts. And black actually says, that's not sente. It's a very strong move there. Yeah, plus there is potential, like if black just lives, this move becomes hard to ignore. And then there's potential with moves here, or if white goes here first, there's cuts. And so, oh man, it's complicated. It's is everyone following along so far? So black just goes here, and then white plays in. This is also a very good order of moves. If you play here first and then go here, this is not directly sente to cut. So by going here first, this is actually sente, because while if you just cut, there's nothing. You can throw in first and then cut. So it's a very good order of moves by white. White pushes in first, then Hanes. And then this was the first move. Like, obviously the decision-making in this game was confusing, but this was the first move that really confused me. Struck me as like, huh? What? So the whole idea with this move actually is we're threatening to play M16, but also cut here. So, for example, if, how do you know where black would play? Like, let's say black just ignores and says, you made a mistake. So now I'm alive here, you're dead. If white plays here, keep in mind, this kind of move is sente, right? So if you try to cut me, you can't go here. You have to go here. If I can cut here, you can see there's problems, potential problems here. It's hard to say, though. I know if white plays this one, then there gets to be problems here, where now this side is getting cut off, but also there's bad aji at J17. So yeah, there's just a lot of bad aji. So black just connects here. So white goes here. Black takes the ko, and white just says, okay, I'm going to make good shape here. But in response to taking this ko, black takes this ko, saying, okay, well, if you take this ko, then I'm going to cut here, and there's really bad aji if something like this happens. where there's bad aji of this cut now, which could threaten to cut these off. So yeah, and so basically in response to this ko, black takes a different ko. And then, oh yeah, did you forget about this group? White just kills this group. And black says, well, okay, I will take here. So if you look at a few moves ago, we had not a peaceful position, but a settled position where white, after here and descend, white has captured here, the lower left, and black has captured the center here, right? Now, obviously, the upper left was still unsettled, but these two positions were settled. But now if you look at the game, not only has white not fully alive yet, but white's starting to make two eyes. It's looking very alive very quickly. Black is alive on the lower left, or at least very close to alive, and black has died up top. Up top. Now this was one of the parts that did confuse me, because this is a dead shape. So if I just connect here, isn't black still dead? Right? There's no real need to play this Hane, I didn't think. So this was another move that confused me. If you just connect, you obviously have more liberties here, and then black still needs to play here, and then you can still make some good shape on the left side. So I'm not sure about this Hane. Yeah, I guess white's saying this cut is not that important. Yeah, I guess so, because this is already strong enough. I'm not sure, though. So black plays here, because again, black was able to break through with these moves. So 3/3 is now vulnerable again. Black descends. Yeah, this is an interesting case too, where normally this move is not great, because you really can't connect back ever, but because of the H2 stone, we can see that you're able to connect back. Here, though, I still think white should block here, and if black Hanes, you can do cut and then Hane like this. Basically saying if you Hane now, I can Atari like this and capture you. If you have to play something like this, then I'm able to keep most of the corner. So yeah, I guess, though, white had other ideas, because white Hanes, black leads there, and then plays here. Black comes in, yes. White fixes. Push. So white is connected back, and then black is here. Yeah, and here, I would not go here as black. Yeah, because, as we'll see in a second, white connects, and this was white's plan all along, was to cut off, once again, this lower left black group. So yeah, I would just go here. Just do this. Yeah, because it's not even like white can play here and there's bad aji here, because you can still connect back to the right side. So yeah, it is big, though, and maybe black just thought, okay, I can live here, though, because black has a very nice move of going here. The idea with this move is this creates an eye at g6, right? If white got that spot, this would not be an eye. But even beyond that, it's threatening to make another eye, right? Something like this. So the only move white can play is to go here. But the problem with that is, if you do falsify that eye, like let's say we go here, if you falsify this eye, black can actually push here and connect, and all of a sudden the lower left is now cut off. So yeah, this is a very nice move. This is a very, very nice move. I feel like this is a hard move to find in 15 seconds. Like, the move itself is not hard to find, but to know that this move not only threatens to make a second eye, but also, depending on how white plays, can cut off the lower left. I think that's the impressive part. So white plays here, and black plays here. And this is also, I think, black saying, if I just go here, and we do this, because there's still a ko here, it's not good enough. If I have to connect like this, I still lose this game. So I think black goes here, plays down, and then goes here to try to force white to have to make this exchange, and therefore get into the left side and yeah, white might even have to save these. So yeah, white Hanes though and connects, which the whole idea with this, by the way, is there's if you do something else, there's Aji with this kind of pushing, and yeah, again, if you can connect back, then you have problems. So white plays here, making it so there's less Aji when you push down here, which also threatens a ko in the lower left, by the way. And black ignores this. So there's a ko here if white... You don't want to go here. This would be a big mistake. Black would be able to live. But instead, you can play at A2. Play at A2. And this is the ko here, like this. Now black says, okay, I can go here. And this is still... this is black basically saying it is a seki, but seki is okay if this happens. It looks like Ben 4, but because of these 2 extra outside liberties, it's just a seki. I'm pretty sure. So white throws in, again, to get rid of this I, and black just connects. And then white throws in, and then cuts. Oh, man. So now white has cut off the groups, but notice if white loses this ko, white can lose here and the entire lower left. So white pushes. Black just connects. So now black needs to find a ko thread big enough to be the entire lower left, as big as the entire lower left. And so black peeps here, and white ignores. So black takes, and so all of a sudden, after black goes here, because this is a big eye and this is just a small eye, black's going to probably win the semi-eye. So all of a sudden, the lower left is the black upper left. I'm getting there's so many different quadrants that keep showing up. It's hard to keep track. But the upper left, I meant, for black is now resurrected and white's now died. But the entire lower left for black is dead, and this can still be seki. So again, is everyone keeping up? Yeah, so white pushes and Hanes to try to make this some sort of ko. So, and then white adds a move here, yeah. Needed to add a move here, because again, while this looks very strong, when black is super thick everywhere, moves like this into this just like end up killing white. Because normal moves can work because black is so thick everywhere. So white goes there, black still plays there, and white goes there. Yep, so now white has 2 eyes, 2 indestructible eyes. So black finally now just lives. Because black has an extra liberty here, this now just lives. Because if you play here and try to take out that eye, I can still capture. And then white also finishes off this ko. Yeah, I guess, why does white go there? If white hadn't have gone there, let's say black had gone there. Yeah, I guess in response to this, well, now white has to be careful because now this entire left side can die. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure actually, because if you just connect, you can't actually cut this off. So yeah, I'm not sure why white takes that actually. Maybe there's Aji with, let's see, take, connect. Is there bad Aji with, well, it looks like it'll be I versus North. So if you do something like this, and even just turn here. Yeah, I'm not sure. Or maybe, yeah, just make an I. Yeah, I'm not sure. Because remember, if you Atari this way, this becomes Sente, and yeah, maybe it is complicated though. And white just said, you know what? I only have 15 seconds. I'm just going to take here. Yes. One thing it does is it allows white to save, let's see. White would, no, it's the same thing, isn't it? Yeah. I was going to say maybe white wants that extra liberty, but it's the same thing. So I don't know. Black Ataris though, and then so now we have this ko. Of course we do. To no one's surprise, so white fills. Maybe it was for white was planning to fight this ko and get rid of ko threats maybe. Black goes there. White extends up. Peep. So now it's a real ko. So Hane, yep. Yeah, play there, gotta live. And then white just goes here. So this is white saying, okay, I don't have enough threats, but I think at this point, because now the storm has died down. Now the excitement of the game has come to a stop, and I think white has calculated accurately enough to know that this is going in white's direction. But they do play some endgame. Again, though, the main focus of this game was all the crazy codes and all that stuff. So, yeah, this game, though, was just so many decisions that are so, what for me, at my level, just so alien. Yeah. And it's always crazy because whenever you have these crazy games with a bunch of trades, like when I do this in my games, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but rarely does it ever become a close game still. Whereas in this game, the final score after here, they both passed here, was white by 1.5. Like even after all the trading, it was still a 1.5 point game. So yeah, super crazy game, lots of trades. Lots of co's, lots of what's the word? Lots of me pondering what's going on. But yeah, this lower left is just too big for white, I guess. Because beyond that, white has 2 points here and 5 points here. So yeah, pretty crazy game. I hope you all enjoyed this game as much as I did. If you did, let me know in the comment section below, or let me know what were some of the decisions in this game that you just never would have thought of, or yeah, just let me know what you thought of the game. But yeah, I'll see you all in the next video.